Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our virtual open house for admitted students. I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Abby Kalkstein, and I am the Associate Director of Graduate Admissions at Penn Engineering. I want to just start by congratulating each and every one of you. Being admitted to a master's program at Penn Engineering is a significant achievement, and we're thrilled to have you joining us virtually today from all over the world. It's a very exciting time to be considering Penn Engineering as a place to expand your academic excellence. We're currently embarking on Penn Engineering 2030, a bold strategic roadmap designed to accelerate global impact and foster a more inclusive and innovative academic environment. As master's students, you're joining us at a pivotal moment. Engineering sits at the center of humanity's most pressing challenges, from pioneering sustainable energy and revolutionizing human health to defining the ethics of trustworthy AI. Today, you aren't just looking at a plan, you're seeing this vision come to life in our labs, our curriculum, and our community. On our campus, you can see the brand new Amy Gutman Hall, which is Penn's new home for AI and data science. Just a few blocks away, we have the Vagelos Laboratory for Energy Science and Technology, which is advancing the future of clean energy. The goal for our master's students is to lead in the rapidly changing world. Our master's programs are designed to be flexible and forward-thinking. You have the opportunity to take classes across schools at the university, work with industry partners in Philadelphia's Tech Hub, or take advantage of the many other opportunities found at the University of Penn. Our students have gone on to join AI, finance, and biotech firms, continue their education with PhD programs at top universities, and you can even find some of our students on Shark Tank, a popular TV show. Penn Engineering is more than a great educational space. We foster creativity, confidence, and collaboration. Many of you are already thinking about your future beyond your graduate degree. Our Career Services and Office of Academic Services teams work together to support you during your time as a Penn Engineering student and beyond through career fairs, employer networking events, and personalized advising. Our alumni network remains an active and generous community, helping to mentor and hire the next generation of Penn engineers. Penn Engineering is a place filled with ambition and innovation. Here you will be surrounded by those who are inventing the future of AI, designing sustainable technologies, and bringing their bold ideas to fruition. Penn is a university that values impact, creativity, and community, and we hope you choose to join us in this exciting journey. In today's session, you'll hear from the Office of Academic Services, as well as our Office of International Student and Scholar Services. We have reserved a time for a group Q&A to address any questions that would benefit from a broader discussion for the whole group. Then we'll break you up into breakout rooms to learn more about the program that you were admitted into. I encourage you to use this session to get any of your remaining questions answered and to get to know the program staff better. Soon you'll hear from my colleagues, but first I want to go through what you can expect as a newly incoming student. These are the programs that are joining us today in today's session and in the breakout rooms. There will also be a breakout room for the Office of Academic Services, but the International Student and Scholar Services team will not be able to join us for a breakout room, so I really encourage you to ask any visa or international student concern questions to put them in the Q&A. A little bit of housekeeping before we move on. We are recording this session, as you probably have seen, and we will be putting this on our YouTube channel in the next couple of days. There's also a number of other webinars that you might find helpful as you're navigating making this final decision for your graduate program. We are not, however, recording the breakout rooms because we really want the breakout rooms to be a space for you to feel comfortable asking any questions that you might have. We hope that you feel comfortable to come on camera and come off mute to ask the questions that you have. On the bottom of your Zoom toolbar, you'll see the Q&A feature. We really want you to submit any questions that you have for us today, whether it's for a specific office or a specific person, please put those questions in the Q&A rather than in the chat. We want to reserve the chat feature to provide you with helpful links, helpful information throughout this session. As I said, we'll be having a Q&A session live. So some of those questions will be answered live in the Q&A, but we'll also be answering some questions on the back end. So for many of you who have not yet accepted your enrollment, I just wanted to go through the process and the timeline that you might be considering. So our enrollment deadline for all of our master's programs is June 1st by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's a couple of ways to go about accepting your enrollment. The first is in your decision letter, the original decision letter that you received. You can click on a link that takes you right to your application checklist that takes you to the decision confirmation form. There you can either accept or decline your offer of admission. And if you plan to accept your offer of admission, which we hope you do, you'll then pay the enrollment deposit. This deposit is credited to your student account for the first semester's tuition. And some of the next steps and things that you can expect in the coming weeks after you accept your offer of admission. You will get plenty of communication from us, all via email, so please make sure that you're monitoring your email pretty closely. One of the first things that we suggest you do is to set up your Penn key, which is what we call your Penn email, essentially, and directions on obtaining your Penn card when the time comes. For anyone who is an international student, you will also get information about beginning the visa process and navigating the IPEN system. You'll also get reminder emails from our office as you go through that process. You will be invited to the Penn Engineering Graduate New Student Orientation that's going to be happening at the end of August. It's in person, and it's going to be a great time for us to actually meet in person, and you'll be meeting a ton of other people as well. You'll gather information to complete your wellness requirements with Wellness at Penn. And you will also receive a lot of information about sending us your final official transcripts that have degree conferral listed. And I want to go into that just a little bit more because we often get a lot of questions about that. So any school that you have attended, we need to see the final official transcript. And from any school that you've graduated from, or multiple schools that you maybe have graduated from, we need to see the degree conferral. And what does degree conferral mean? That's essentially the date that you have met all requirements to graduate. So it means that you have successfully completed your undergraduate degree. So for anyone who is studying in the United States, final official transcripts with degree conferral will meet this requirement. For folks who are studying outside of the United States, we do require a course-by-course evaluation that has to come from a NACCES accredited organization. I've listed a couple down here on the bottom of this slide that a lot of our incoming students have had success with, whether it's just ease of operation or speediness of their services. These tend to be the most helpful organizations, but there are plenty of others as long as you do get the course-by-course evaluation. Again, those transcripts do have to all contain degree conferral. So for folks who are currently enrolled in a program, maybe you are at the very exciting time getting ready to graduate in the next couple of weeks or months, you will not yet have a degree conferral. That will not happen until you have graduated. So it may be the case that right now there's no action that needs to be taken on this process, but please make sure that you're thinking about it and getting everything ready for that when you graduate, you can provide those transcripts to us. All transcripts are required prior to the start of class, and for some schools, this can take longer than others, especially for the transcript evaluations. So please make sure that you manage your time so that we can get those transcripts prior to the start of class. And now I want to pass the mic over to Jeremy Spohr, who works with the International Student and Scholar Services Office. Jeremy, take it away.
Hello, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeremy Spoor. I'm the Associate Director of International Student and Scholar Services at Penn, and I'm also the liaison to the School of Engineering and Applied Science. That means that I work with folks like Abby and the other staff members that you see here to help out SEAS students with overall big picture items that relate to their international student status and their status as a SEAS student. So our office is a office of about 20 dedicated individuals that take care of approximately 10,000 international students at Penn. A big chunk of those students are from engineering school, as that's a popular school with international students. And we have two parts to our office. We provide immigration services and document processing and immigration advising to our students and scholars. And we also provide integration services to the campus and to Philadelphia and to the United States. One of the things that's unique about Penn is that our ISSS office provides two services to the campus international community, and both integration and immigration. We are not purely an office that just processes your I-20 and helps you get a visa. We really believe in building community here on campus that will help you feel like being part of the community at Penn. You're not just an international student, but you are a Penn student. And that's a dual mission of our office. Okay, next slide. So when you arrive in the United States, probably in mid to late August, and you register with our office through IPEN, you will do the online arrival form. And after your arrival, everyone will be assigned individually to an international student and scholar advisor in our office. And that person's name will be available in our IPEN system and also on the academic side in the academic database path at Penn. So you will be able to work with this person throughout maybe your 2 years, maybe 5 years as a PhD student to really help guide you on your journey as an international student. And we offer advising mostly on Zoom. We have resumed some in-person advising at our office on campus, and we advise on these topics like travel, employment, visa, and maintaining your status. Okay, and that's interconnected to academics and being in the US as a F1 or J1 student. Next slide. So, a lot of students, especially master students, are very interested in being able to do a summer internship. And if you were to start with us in the fall of 2026, then you would hopefully be doing a summer internship in the summer of 2027. So we have a very good system worked out with our colleagues at SEAS, and we assist almost all of our international master students in being able to participate in some kind of summer internship in their middle summer. And that's a very popular way for students to improve their education in the US and also improve their possible job prospects. We have a system online system with e-forms to apply for these various immigration benefits. And we have a great team at SEAS that we cooperate with to help our SEAS master students do this. Next slide. Um, so right now, many of you may be in the middle of this process or thinking about beginning it. So if you're going to apply for your I-20, you're going to use the ISSS database, IPEN, and you're going to apply for your I-20. You're going to upload your documents there, your passport, things like that, financial docs. Then we will issue you an I-20 or a DS-2019 electronically, a PDF. Then you need to make a visa appointment at the U.S. consulate or embassy in your country. And then um, hopefully you will be able to obtain that visa and arrive here in mid to late August. And we understand that there may be visa processing delays this summer. And ISSS and Cs will work together to help you as much as we can. But we need to make it clear that ISSS and Penn cannot influence the visa process abroad. If you're having trouble getting an appointment in your country, this is not something that we can kind of do for you. We can give you tips, but we cannot directly influence how the local consulate or embassy runs things in your country. Next slide. So when you get here and you arrive in the US in F1 or J1 status, you're going to do the online arrival e-form. You don't need to physically come to our office. It's an electronic process. Then we will register you as arrived in the US in F status. And this usually takes a couple of weeks, say between August 25th to September 5th, for example. And then we will give you a new continued attendance I-20 with a travel signature on it. And I really want to emphasize you cannot forget to do this online process when you get here in August. You can't do it now because you're not in the US yet. You can only do it after arrival in Philadelphia. Okay, next slide. So international students must always maintain their full-time status, that you are studying full-time. There are some exceptions to this rule, such as your last semester, but at least if you're incoming students, your first year, absolutely. Three credit units, which is 3 classes at Penn in your fall semester and your spring semester. And when you first arrive, we have the drop and add period that runs for a few weeks at the beginning of the semester. Same thing in January. So you may be changing courses, you may be testing out courses, and that's allowable. But as we get to mid-September, just keep in mind, must be full-time. We're not so concerned about the combination of the courses, just that you have maintained full-time status. And we check everyone's enrollment against, international student status versus full-time enrollment. We have a systematic way to do this. If we see that you are not full-time enrolled, we will be chasing you, okay, and making sure that you are, that's part of maintaining your immigration status. So it goes together, academic side and ISSS side, and we cooperate closely with Cs to make sure that our students are enrolled. So here's some slides for us. Please stay in touch with us on social media, and hopefully we will see you all in August at International Student Orientation. So thank you very much, Abby. I will stay on and answer questions in the Q&A. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jeremy. And just to echo that, we only have Jeremy until about 10:40 today. So if you do have any questions about the visa process, your visa status, any more personal questions about your specific situation, please go ahead and put those in the Q&A, and Jeremy will be answering those for a little less than another 20 minutes or so. Now I'm going to pass it over to Courtney Johnson, who works in the Office of Academic Services.
Thank you, Abby. Hi, my name is Courtney Johnson. I'm academic advisor and program coordinator here at OAS. I work with Alyse Edwards, the director for graduate programs here at OAS. So what do we do at the Office of Academic Services, otherwise known as OAS? We advise on general engineering policies and procedures, such as those that you would find in the Engineering Graduate Handbook. So a few examples of those type of inquiries that we receive, maybe you want to transfer from one program to another engineering master's program within engineering. Or maybe you want to add a second major or a second degree program to your engineering master's program. Taking a leave of absence for personal reasons or medical reasons. Maybe you have questions about changing from full-time to part-time or vice versa. As a reminder, if you're an international student, though, you do have to be full-time in spring and fall. And for international students as well, so we advise on the academic portion of what is required for CPT, curricular practical training, OPT, optional practical training, and RCL, reduced course loads for students. And maybe you have a question and you're not sure where to go. Well, we can help with that as well. We can help to connect you to other offices on campus and other resources that maybe you aren't thinking of necessarily for a particular case, but when we meet with you, it's like, oh, you know, maybe, for example, you've been introduced to all the stuff to orientation, of course, but it's not necessarily on your mind at the time for what's going on. So we might refer you to those other offices as well. And then also, when it comes time for graduation, the process for that, and the details of the ceremony itself. Next slide, please. Okay, so probably the most burning question that all of you have right now is probably about course registration. So for incoming students for fall, that happens during the summer months. And the place that you do that is through the Penn system that's called Path at Penn. Please keep in mind that every program does registration a little bit differently. They have their own processes and their own timelines. So it's very important you know who your graduate program administrator is. That link list of program contacts is really important if you're not sure who that is. And we do have some of those people with us here today, which is awesome. So, um, but that would be your point person for course registration. And they will contact you and again let you know what the timeline and the procedure is for that. Because, like I said, it's different from program to program, and that happens during the summer. Courses do fill up, wait lists do fill up. So when they contact you and they give you the timeline, it's better that you don't sit on it for too long and wait until the last minute to register. Like, if they're contacting you in uh, June and you don't take action till August, that's not the best. Because, like I said, you have a better selection if you do it early on. That being said, people do change their schedule up until the course selection period ends. So if you don't get your first choice immediately, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get it later because the availability is always changing up until that point. And some courses do require a permit, and your graduate program administrator can assist with the procedure for that because it may be a little bit different depending on what the class is, and they're familiar with the specific classes that you'll be taking. As I mentioned before, we advise on general engineering policies like in the graduate handbook. If you have questions about, like I said, registration, curriculum, meeting specific degree requirements, these are all questions that should be directed towards your program because they are the subject specific experts. We advise all graduate engineering students, PhDs, and masters. So, like I said, we are advising on the general policies for engineering. Next slide, please. And I wanted to go over just some important dates. It's important that you look at this page, the academic calendar. These are important dates every semester just to keep in mind. So NSO, our new student orientation on August 21st, it's important that you be there. There, not only OAS will be presenting, but many different people from across the university about different university resources. Your individual program um, also would have something more specific to your program, like a smaller kind of event. And then August 25th is the first day of the fall semester, so that's the first day of classes. And then September 8th, that's the course selection period I was talking about. So that's the last day you can add a class or drop a class, and you get 100% of tuition and fees refunded. So, like I said, some students do tend to change up their course schedule up until that period ends. But just please make sure you're paying attention to that date. And like I said, you shouldn't wait until that date to register, but you could swap something up until that date. And then we have fall break, October 1st through 4th. You can drop between September 8th and October 5th, but then you're responsible for 50% of tuition and fees. Also, if you're an international student, that gets complicated because you have to be full time, so you can't just drop without an approved reduced course load. So again, pay careful attention to the September 8th date, I recommend. And then October 26th is something we call advanced registration. It's not a true course registration because you're not actually registering for those courses. You're making a request for those courses during a time period along with other people. And then after the system closes, it runs an algorithm and it slots you into courses. I do recommend you participate because that's the first chance to get, if you know there's a course you really want to get into, that's the first chance you have to get into the spring courses. If you miss it, then you can do regular registration, which opens after the algorithm finishes running and slotting everybody into courses for advanced registration. And November 2nd is the last day to withdraw from a class. Withdrawal is something that should be avoided if all possible. Again, if you're an international student, you can't do that without an approved RCL. Also, if you withdraw, you're fully financially responsible and you'll have a W on your transcript. And then December 7th is the last day of classes. And then December 17th is the last day of the fall semester when that ends. And then we go into winter break. Yeah, thank you, Abby.